going to be doing Winnie the Pooh and their mental disorders. So I'm sure growing up you guys also watched, read, and simply just loved Winnie the Pooh and their characters just like I did. So a few years ago I heard that the characters represented mental disorders, and to me that was really shocking because I didn't, when you think about Winnie the Pooh you think of like an innocent story of a boy and his animals. So you don't really think about the characters representing mental disorders until you really watch it and think that, there actually could be. Okay, so the author of this is A.A. Milne, and he wrote the first collection of the Winnie the Pooh stories in 1926. But in 2000 is when the talk of mental disorders really came about because of a doctor named Sarah Shea and a team of her fellow pediatricians presented these diagnoses for A.A. Milne's characters. And the reason that she thought that he did this was because he struggled with PTSD himself after coming home from World War I. So he thought that he kind of depicted the story based on something that he had and just did it with other characters. And the reason that her pediatricians presented these was to show that anyone can have mental disorders regardless of race, age, anything. Okay, so the characters in this are Winnie the Pooh. He has ADHD, impulsivity, and binge eating disorder. Piglet has generalized anxiety disorder. Roo has autism. Tigger has hyperactivity and impulsivity. Eeyore has depression. Kanga has social anxiety disorder. Rabbit has OCD. Christopher Robin has schizophrenia. And Owl is dyslexic. So on all of the sources that I found and read about, all of them named each mental disorder that they had, but none of them were really set on a for sure true or false, if they really did have it or not, except for Ranker. They were really set on that the mental disorders represented them because of A.A. Milne did this. And they were really good at describing certain instances and situations where they did represent this. But Shopes and Metro disagreed with that because they said that the mental disorders are based on secondhand observations by neurodevelopers, and that the paper written by Sarah Shea was meant to show that anyone can have a mental disorder again, and that it wasn't A.A. Milne's intent to do so. ACIS Education said that A.A. Milne died in 1956, and that the term learning disability or disabilities was not even introduced until 1963, so that it seems highly unlikely that he linked each character to a type of disorder, knowing that this paper by Sarah Shea was published in 2000, which was about 70 years after A.A. Milne's did this paper on Winnie the Pooh. Mamma Mia also said that what ACS said, that in the article they said, quote, "Of course, when Milne wrote Winnie the Pooh and published the story in 1926, precisely none of the diagnostic categories existed, and there wasn't such a thing as ADHD or OCD, and that schizophrenia was vastly different from how it was when Sarah Shea in 2000 published this. So in conclusion, I don't think that it was his attempt to do this, based on everything that I've read." So here are my note cards.